What's good internet, it's your boy BigTony and thank you for tuning into my video. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to be reviewing the eagerly anticipated and highly divisive title, The Last of Us Part 2. If you follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BigTony015, link in the description box below, you would know that I've completed the game and gave my honest opinion on it when I completed it. This is a spoiler-free review, so don't worry, you're safe. I got you, family. Listen, it's okay, I got you, you're safe. So please, kick back, relax, and enjoy my take on The Last of Us Part 2. Story. So we start the game off as Joel, and I'm not gonna lie, even though it's been only 5 years since the events of the first title, you can see that Ellie has been stressing the dude out. I mean, he got grey hairs, he's got wrinkles and shit. I mean, he's only in his mid-50s, but fucking hell. Joel is confiding in his brother Tommy, recounting the events at the end of the last game, cleaning his guitar before they ride back to their new home Jackson. It's at this point where we're taken on a short horse ride, where Naughty Dog take their time to show us just how hard they've worked at making this game look good. Not long after, we're reintroduced to Ellie along with her new friends, Jesse and Dina, and after a short walking and talking segment, we're sent out into the wild for a patrol. It's from here where the real story begins. Now, because this is a non-spoiler review, I won't go into detail regarding the story, but what I will say is that, in my opinion, the story is well written. I love the fact that we're playing as a strong female lead. A lot, if not most, video games are led by middle-aged white men, so to experience a story as a young woman who is tough physically and mentally is refreshing. I enjoyed the format in which the story is told too. Bouncing between characters and flashbacks, this game is a roller coaster. It will give you information, allow you to solidify that information as fact, then smack you in the face with a BBC of new information to challenge your mindset. The game challenged my mindset, and it put me in situations that I questioned and disagreed with. I think my heart is not in this, so I don't even want to do it. I didn't want to go through many of the scenes, but in the end, I think that's the point. It's that made me sit down at the end of the game and go over why the characters did what they did, why I felt apprehension in some scenes, and why I like most if not all of the characters. And I think it's that challenge is the reason why people don't like the game. People have to challenge their own mindset, people have to put themselves in the shoes of other people. The game isn't a simple revenge story, and whilst maybe it would have been more satisfying for the masses, I think the way they went with the game is the right choice. And whilst I thought the ending wasn't satisfying, after some thought and reading someone's theory online, I'm more than happy with the way that Naughty Dog ended the game. That being said, there was solid voice acting, Naughty Dog being themselves created and fleshed out the characters well, and I think the story they told us, whilst in a world of infected, was very human. Pros. The game had a strong and challenging narrative, and on top of that, we got to play as a strong female protagonist. Performance and graphics. I played The Last of Us Part 2 on the PS4 Pro, and I have to say, this game ran very well, especially for how great the game looked. I'm not talking 1440p 60fps well, but a solid 1440p 30fps. Would I have preferred if Naughty Dog bumped down the resolution in favour for a higher FPS? You're goddamn right I would. However, and it's sad that the gaming industry is like this, I am happy that in my playthrough, I only ever noticed the FPS drop below 30 a couple of times. I should add too that the drop was nothing big, maybe only a couple of frames. In my opinion, every part of the game looked good. Shadows, lighting and foliage, character and world textures were great. There were moments in game where I would pause to look at the character models and take in how gross the infected looked, or be amazed by details such as fingerprints on a playable character. Naughty Dog also paid attention to the small details that you could have missed. When you're reloading a shotgun, you can see your ammunition on the side of the gun, and the colour changes depending on the type of ammo. They fucked up, right? Ooh! Ooh! Yeah, you know you fucked up, right? You know you fucked up, right? Oh, bitch ass. Wet clothing looks great in the game. The playable characters and enemies limp due to damage. Also, character body and facial animations change depending on the situation that you put them in. I won't spoil it for you, but if you play the game, a character has a certain fear. If you put them in a situation that triggers that fear, their facial animations and movement changes. Also, there are details that I missed when playing the game that I found when doing research for this video. For example, during melee combat, your knuckles get bloody the longer you fight, and if you use a bandage, the bandage will absorb blood over time. If I had one gripe, it would be that the environment sometimes could look a little muddy. Now, I'm not sure if this was something to do with the anti-aliasing that was used or if it was the film grain. However, this could have been an intentional move by the developers to display how grime has developed over time. Pros. The world and characters have great textures. There are great character expressions. The attention to small details is immersive. Cons. Some environments could look a little muddy, but like I said, this could be an intentional move by the developers. World. The world is fleshed out in The Last of Us Part 2. It isn't just broken down buildings and debris. When you're walking through populated towns, if you take the time to listen, you can hear characters speaking about you. You can interact with others around you, and the environments that you're in feel alive. It's interesting to see how characters have created their own homes, what forms of transport they use, their weaponry and clothing. For the most part, the game is linear. However, there are moments in the game where you'll find yourself in large open areas to explore. These are welcome, however, they can get a little tedious when you're trying to find all of the items that you can use, whether they're just parts for crafting or upgrades. Also, I have to say, if you take the time to explore, you're going to find some Easter eggs that are going to blow your fucking mind. Pros. The world is detailed and well fleshed out. The game is linear, with large spaces to explore, and there are great Easter eggs. Cons. Exploration can be tedious at times. Gameplay. The gameplay is solid, however, there isn't much difference between The Last of Us 1 and 2. There are more weapons and verticality, also the character animations are smooth and realistic. However, moving the character you're playing as can sometimes feel slow and heavy, and I think this comes down to what I just said. The devs wanted smooth and realistic character movement. Diving into the verticality of The Last of Us Part 2, I find it to be a welcome addition to the game. Having to climb to progress is cool, and sometimes you have to manipulate your surroundings to get where you want. I think it's here where The Last of Us Part 2 took a note or two from its cousin Uncharted. Another welcomed mechanic was the rope physics. Whilst it may not be amazing to everybody, there are moments in the game where you'll find a rope, cable or hose in the environment that you can use to your advantage. It's also great to see how you can manipulate this feature. Pros. There's more verticality in weapons, smooth character movements and animations, awesome rope physics. Cons. The character movement can feel slow and heavy at times. Crafting and combat. So, to start this one off, we'll begin with crafting. There are a variety of weapons that you can craft in this game, and you can craft dependent on your playstyle. Whilst the game is easier when you play in a stealth manner and use a variety of items, you can play more aggressively, and you can craft items to help you with that playstyle. I found that ammunition was relatively easy to find. This may be due to the fact that I was playing on normal difficulty though, because when I asked my girlfriend who played on easy, she found it relatively easy to find ammo. That being said, I still had to use my ammunition properly. I had a few shots that I could waste, and I found myself using other items to draw enemies away, blind enemies, catch them off guard with explosives, and pick them off silently. There is also a knockdown feature, where the impact from the bullets will knock you down, forcing you to retaliate quickly. It's tense and I love it. Also, if you take out a group and leave one enemy alive who has taken damage, there is a great standoff moment where you can choose to leave the enemy to die on their own, or you can murder them. It really adds to the brutal nature of the gameplay and the story. I feel the AI in this game was smarter than most. If you try to hold position and pick enemies off, they'll flank you or try and draw you out with the use of throwables and explosives. Also, the addition of dogs was great too. There were enemies that could track you down via your scent, so it was important to keep moving and draw them away with distractions like bottles and smoke bombs. Talking about dogs, there were new enemy types within the game. Because one was revealed by the devs before the game came out, I will talk about only that one. The others, however, that is something you'll need to experience by yourself, or you can watch it on my playthrough channel BigTony Plays, or on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BigTony015. The link is in the description box below. So, the all-new infected in The Last of Us Part 2 are Shamblers. They're the fourth stage of the Cordyceps fungal infection. Similar to bloaters, Shamblers are large enemies that have transformed and mutated over a long period of time. They are slow, however they are agile enough to climb, and they can be found in packs. When you're close to a Shambler, they'll release an explosion of acid gas that can kill quickly. They also release this gas upon death too, so it's important that once you kill one, to move away quickly. Now that you're able to climb on surfaces and fight from different levels, the ability to climb and crouch give you more options for stealth and acquiring the advantage in combat. Whilst the versatility is less dramatic than in Naughty Dog's Uncharted, the ability to fight from the bushes or from high ground are welcomed. Whilst writing this script, I looked into details in the game that I might have missed, and one really stood out to me because it shocked me when I was streaming the game. Powerful weapons and explosives do serious damage to enemies. And I'm not just talking about how quickly they take enemies down, I mean serious gory damage. If you shoot an enemy with a shotgun, or they're hit with an explosive, you can blow off their head, limbs, and pieces of their body can get stuck to the ceiling and fall off too. Also, if you take a look at the body of an enemy that you just killed with a headshot, you can see where the bullet had made impact and the damage that it does. Still, no infected animals. Fuck! Pros. You can approach combat in a manner that suits you. Verticality, climbing, and crouching vary combat. Enemies will push you in combat. Gory enemy damage, knockback feature, I love it. Great on-the-fly crafting. Cons. There are only 3 new enemy types. There are no infected animals. Really? Summary. The Last of Us Part 2 was a great game. I really enjoyed it, and I think if you're a fan of The Last of Us Part 1, you'll enjoy what this title has to offer. Will the game push you? Will it upset you? Will you feel conflicted and apprehensive in some moments? Yes, but to be fair, I think that's what the developers wanted you to feel. So please, if you like the first game, pick up The Last of Us Part 2. If you're not a fan of the first game, or you were just interested in the promotional material, I would say to wait for the game to drop in price. Take the time to play the first game, get acquainted with the characters and what happens in the story, and when The Last of Us Part 2 is on offer, snap it up. Let's go over the pros and cons for a final time. Pros. You can approach combat in a manner that suits you. Verticality, climbing, and crouching can vary combat. Enemies will push you in combat. Gory enemy damage, knockback feature, I love it. Smooth character movement and animations. Great graphics, rope physics are great, a challenging and strong narrative, strong female protagonists, well detailed and fleshed out world, great Easter eggs, great character expressions, and attention to small details which makes the game extremely immersive. Cons. Character movement can feel slow at times. Exploration of large areas can be tedious at times. There are only 3 new enemy types, and there are no infected animals. And honestly, the internet is being fucking ridiculous. This is a great game, the story has impact, and it teaches you a good life lesson. The characters are bold and fleshed out, the gameplay is solid, and honestly, play this game and make up your own mind. Don't be a sheep on the internet following everyone else's opinion, and make up your own. The internet is going mad because of what happens in one controversial scene. Don't let that stop you from buying the game. If you love the first game, get it now. If you're new, wait for a price drop. And don't fucking send death threats to one of the voice actors because you don't like their character. Grow up. Anyway, that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave a comment with your opinion on the game, and please subscribe for more content. Also, if you like the clips that played throughout the video or you just like my content, please follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BigTony015. You can see me live, be part of my community, and if you wanted to, you can also financially support my channel. Anyway, I'm your boy Big Tony, and I'm out. Peace.